ABC 36 News starts now.
Well, good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Paxton Boyd. Well, severe thunderstorm warnings in much of the coverage area tonight. For the latest on everything we need to know, let's toss things over to our chief meteorologist, TG Shuck. TG, as we were saying, a perfect night to download that ABC 36 Storm Team weather app if you haven't already.
That's correct, Paxton. In fact, things have ramped up a bit over the last 10 or 15 minutes. You can see the severe thunderstorm warnings confined to southern Kentucky, but want to take you to Wayne County, where we now have a tornado warning for the north central part of Wayne County that goes until 5:45. Of course, it is surrounded by a severe thunderstorm warning. So if you're in Eadsville, if you're in Monticello, now this thing is right over the southern part of Lake Cumberland, and where you see the pink there, that's an indication of some fairly large hail. Now looking at our SCIT data here, it is showing about an inch and a quarter hail, which is upwards of bigger than quarter size, a decent shot at that. Now, the BTI is low, but this thing has been showing some signs of rotation. I'll show you that here in a minute, but some of the communities impacted: 544 Steubenville over toward Mill Springs, that is, at 547, and then all the way up into Pulaski County. If this thing holds together, you're looking at Braunston at 559 and Pulaski Southwestern High School there right around the top of the hour. So this cell was showing some signs of rotation coming out of Russell and Clinton counties here. So what I want to do is take a look at the velocity data, which shows you what the radar is doing or what the winds are doing relative to the radar site. Anything in green is going toward the radar site. Anything in red is going away from it. So it's this area right here, just off to the northwest of Monticello. This is the area of concern for the potential for the tornado warning. So if you're inside this box here, again, Eadsville, Monticello, and west, out toward Lake Cumberland here, you need to go to a basement. If you don't have a basement, go to an interior room, the lowest level of your home, preferably a closet or a bathroom. Now, as far as our radar data picking up on any organized shear, there's a little spot right there in green, so there is some moderate rotation, so just keep that in mind. Again, it has been showing some signs of rotation, thus the tornado warning that is out until 5:45. Again, some larger hail is going to be possible with this cell as it moves eastward. So Mill Springs being your safe place, even though you're not in the tornado warning polygon. And again, the SCIT data just updating, still showing, again, pretty low on the BTI, but it's pretty high on the hail potential. So obviously we are going to continue to track that storm as it moves eastward over toward Pulaski County and McCreary County as well. This is a severe thunderstorm east of Mount Vernon now into Rockcastle and working into Jackson County, where you see the pink. That potentially has a little bit of hail with it as well. And then this cell finally beginning to weaken out as it moves toward Mount Olivet and Robertson County out of northern Harrison County. And this part of the state not worked over. I mentioned that earlier. The morning rain and storms that we had not really occurring very much down in southern and southeastern Kentucky. So both of these severe thunderstorm warnings, these storms bear watching just to the east of Corbin, right there at exit 29, and then down US 25E, where you see the pink. We've got the potential, again, upwards of 1 3/4 inch hail. So that's probably a little bit smaller than ping pong sized. And the BTI is up a little bit, 4. It's out on its own. It's got all that warm, moist air to feed off of. So Fletcher, Tuttle, Woolham coming up toward the top of the hour. Meanwhile, this one over here, that's going to run up toward Bledsoe, Mosel, and Stinnett with severe thunderstorm warnings there. Looks like parts of southern Leslie County south of Hyden. This warning here is for southeastern Laurel, the northwestern part of Knox, and the northern part of Whitley County. So the bottom line, we got a whole lot going on. Let me show you the loop here, and you can see these things popping here and there as the area of low pressure and the trailing cold front work eastward, and we've kind of got the peak warmth out there, even though it's not overly hot. We just have a lot of moisture to deal with. The other thing I want to show you here, severe thunderstorm watch until 8 o'clock. It has now been kicked eastward to include Jackson, Hazard, and points to the east along the US 23 corridor. It's those storms in southern Kentucky that we're really going to have to keep an eye on here over the next couple of hours. In addition to that, unsettled weather is going to be sticking around, and we've got tropical storm Helene down in the Gulf of Mexico, which may bring us tropical rains as we hit the upcoming weekend. So a lot going on. I'll break it down for you in full weather coming up. Well, new tornado warning. It's been extended eastward to include Pulaski County, basically Somerset into the southern part of the county, including Lake Cumberland. After the break, we'll kind of shift into continuous coverage as we track these and other storms. We'll have that for you coming up after the break.
Time for your ABC 36 Storm Team forecast.
I'm Chief Meteorologist TJ Shuck. We're going to shift into a little more long-form coverage on the severe weather here in central and especially southern Kentucky. And the reason for it is this supercell thunderstorm that developed across the Kentucky-Tennessee border kicked out a warning for Wayne County, including Monticello, and now it's over Mill Springs, and we've got a new tornado warning, which includes the southwestern part of Pulaski County, part of McCreary County, and the eastern part of Wayne County, and that goes until 6:15. So if you're anywhere in the red polygon, inside the red polygon here, of course, on the outside of it, we've got the ongoing severe thunderstorm warning. You need to be in your safe place. Go to a basement. If you don't have a basement, go to an interior room, the lowest level of your home, preferably a closet or a bathroom. You want to put yourself away from exterior windows and walls. In addition to the possibility of the circulation, where you see the pink, we could see upwards of half dollar-sized hail, and that in and of itself could do some issues or create some issues here. So I want to check our skit data here, even though it has been showing kind of a low-end chance of seeing any high end as far as the BTI is concerned. Not really seeing a whole lot of that in that regard, but nevertheless, NASA Weather Service here kicking out again that tornado warning and choosing to extend it eastward. So that's one of the reasons why we're going to stick with this here shortly as we kind of reset our computer and see if we can get the hand tracker going here. I definitely want to show you the skit again, the skit data here, which should. It's acting up a little bit here. I'm gonna step off and see if we can reset it here. Again, our severe thunderstorm warning is on the outside of the tornado warning, right there in the center in pink. That's where we've got the possibility of the rotation. Again, right here over Mill Springs, the deeper pink indicating the potential of seeing, there we go, seeing some very, very large hail. So here are the communities that need to be in a safe place. Again, the tornado warning ongoing here. The BTI is low, but look at the hail, upwards of 1.75 inches. There's an 80% chance that you're seeing some severe hail out of this. So this is all around Lake Cumberland, Braunston 5:59, Burnside at 6 o'clock, over toward Meese at 6:08, the Dykes community at 6:14, and Honeybee at about 6:14. And these are farther east into the southeastern part of Pulaski County, northern part of McCreary County. Now that we've got that working for you, again, the tornado warning goes until 6:15, but I want to show what's going on as far as the rotation, because the radar, of course, can tell us what the storm is doing as far as the winds relative to the radar site. So with that, I'm actually going to take our warning polygons off of there so you can get a little bit better idea of what we're talking about here. So here's your legend. You see the red and the green side by side. That's what you look for here when we're talking about rotation. So anything in green you want to look at going away from the radar site. Keep in mind the radar site is over here around Jackson, and anything in red, that's away. Anything in green is toward the radar. So we'll telestrate it here. It's right here in this area. Here's Monticello. It's to your northeast. It's right along Kentucky 90 here that runs you out of Monticello and takes you up toward Burnside, Nancy, Somerset, right on the east side of Lake Cumberland. That's where your circulation is. And our little skit line there, which shows us where the core of that storm is picking up on that nicely. So that's why if you're in Delta, if you're in Alpine, if you're in Burnside, you need to be in your safe place now. Go to a basement. If you don't have a basement, go to an interior room, the lowest level of your home, preferably a closet or a bathroom. We'll put the radar data back on here and also our warning polygons. And again, you see here that we've got, again, the potential of seeing very, very large hail out of this, in addition to the circulation coming with it as well. Skit data is updated. So Braunston, Burnside, 602, 604, that's within about the next 10 to 12 minutes. You still see that larger hail size, upwards of, again, $half size, maybe even upwards of ping pong sized hail. And the reason this thing is holding its own is because it is out on its own. It's not within a cluster or anything. It's essentially has the entire atmosphere to feed off of. So it's on your doorstep, Delta. It's right over Mill Springs up toward Naomi. Here's Monticello. Kentucky 90 runs right out of Monticello into the northeastern part of Wayne County and takes you up toward Lake Cumberland here. I'm going to step off for a minute and take a look at the chat from the National Weather Service to see if we've got any updates at all. And with that, I noticed here that the red had gone by the wayside. They have luckily canceled the tornado warning, so that is good. But there is still a severe thunderstorm warning for the eastern part of Wayne County, into McCreary County, and up into Pulaski County. We've got some other things going on as well. Severe thunderstorm warning for Jackson County, right near McKee. It's on your doorstep. The potential, again, 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. And then we've got a couple of additional cells, these that are up here off to the southeast of this cell here, across parts of southeastern Kentucky. See if we can move it in, and I'll get rid of that. So Manchester, back just to the east of London. So eastern Laurel County, southwestern parts of Clay County, severe thunderstorm warning. Luckily, no warnings along the Bell-Harlan County line and into southern Leslie County. Just a lot of heavy rain, maybe some small hail as well. But right now, the tornado warning's been allowed to expire. So we're going to send it to break. We'll rejoin the newscast. And of course, I'll have your full forecast coming up at the top of the hour at 6 o'clock. And hopefully we'll wind these storms down. And of course, the focus then shifts to some tropical moisture with the remnants by then of Helene coming up by the end of the week.
ABC 36 News starts now.
Well, good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Paxton Boyd. Now we begin with severe weather coverage in the coverage area. For that, we turn things over to our chief meteorologist, T.G. Shuck. And T.G., that warning expanding here just minutes ago.
Yeah, we've got some significant storms, especially down into southern Kentucky. This was the area that was not worked over. Two in particular we're really keeping an eye on, one south of Somerset and one very close to Manchester. These have severe thunderstorm warnings with them, but anytime with the reflectivity you see black within the pink, that is typically an indication of some very large hail. That's just south of Burnside there, south of Somerset on the eastern edge of Lake Cumberland here and looking at our skit data here. Now, it's come down a bit, but the chance of severe hail, 80%. The BTI, the Barron Tornado Index, is low. This was the cell that prompted the tornado warning back into Wayne County. But we're looking at probably a little smaller than possibly golf ball sized hail. So over toward Hargis, Mount Victory, looks like the Youngs Creek area. You're going to see this within the next half hour. So again, some larger hail in addition to the damaging wind threat. That's a bit of a concern with that warning going until 6:30. The other one that we're watching is here west of Manchester. You see that little bit of darker shading. And again, our skit data here indicating hail size upwards of 3 inches. That's probably overdone because then you're talking baseball size hail. But I do think there is some indication that we are seeing some possibly larger hail, and this thing's going to be running over toward Manchester and Clay County High School within the next 15 to 20 minutes as that severe thunderstorm warning goes until the bottom of the hour. We also have another one up here into parts of Jackson County, Annville northward. That's for about another 15 minutes. So those are the storms that we're concerned with that are severe. These are not, but look at the torrential rain through Harlan County running up into Letcher County. This part of the cell close to Cumberland, it's got the potential of maybe some small hail with it, and it's going to run up toward Jeremiah and Whitesburg by the bottom of the hour. So that's everything that's going on in southern Kentucky. Here's the loop over the last few hours, and you just see the yellow boxes flashing off and on, indicating all of these cells, the majority of them, have been strong to severe at some point. We were expecting this area of low pressure. We've got some upper level support coming right through the heart of central and southern Kentucky, and you see the warnings lined up. Any of these have the potential of spinning up an isolated tornado. We had that tornado warning within the last half hour down over Wayne County. The severe thunderstorm watch has been expanded eastward to include Jackson and Hazard because of those storms moving across southern Kentucky, and the Storm Prediction Center pretty much following suit with their outlook level 2, damaging winds, large hail, and the spin up as well. As far as Lake Cumberland, there you go. Torrential rain with that big cluster that just rolled through. Now, areas farther north, here in the Bluegrass, it's dry in Casey County, but we managed to avoid a lot of it here in Lexington proper because the atmosphere got worked over with the earlier storms. You see, temperatures are not overly hot. I mean, we're only in the 70s, but here's your issue. You got a lot of warm, moist, and unstable air to feed off of. I think the severity drops back as we get a little deeper into the evening, but we're still looking at some additional storms. Quick check. Here's Helene. It's up to 50 miles per hour. It's a tropical storm, and it's expected to become a major hurricane, make landfall up in the Big Bend area, and bring some tropical moisture our way by Friday and Saturday. So suddenly, we've entered this active weather pattern. I'll tell you more about it in your 7-day forecast coming up.